Infected. I open my eyes. Bright light blinds me. Where am I? My head is pounding as if it's about to explode from tension. Around me are lamps and the pulsating, obsessive sound of medical equipment. Everything around is so unfamiliar. People in protective suits. I've lost track of time. How long have I been here? My limbs are restrained with straps. Transparent tubes are connected to my hands, through which liquid is flowing. I try to grasp onto memories, but all I see are cold walls, monitors, lamps, and my own reflection in murky glass. Panic begins to rise from the depths of consciousness. I nervously jerk my arms, attempting to free myself. People in suits give me an injection. Darkness fills my eyes, and I fall into a dream. I must somehow remember how I ended up here. I need to focus on what happened. Bright colors. Green, red, yellow. The rhythmic sound of a pulse. I see something ahead. A red-colored supermarket building with a large green sign above it. I'm not alone. A woman is with me. Blonde. Who is she? She behaves as if we're close. Yellow. I have a ring on my finger. The glare of the lighting reflects off the ring, blinding me. The girl with me has a similar ring. Is she my wife? What's her name? The noise of rhythmic sound grows louder. Bright light. Consciousness returns to me. I'm back in the familiar place. Thoughts are muddled. I have a wife. She's smiling, playfully punching my shoulder. Blood on the white floor. Thick, dark blood oozing from beneath the product shelves. We grab a cart and push it along the aisles. The repulsive, rhythmic sound irritates me. I can't concentrate on memories. Alice. Her name is Alice. The sound grows louder and faster. People in protective suits are suddenly everywhere. I want to grab one of them by the throat, but my hands are immobilized. One of them approaches me in fear, administers an injection. I need to gather strength to get out of here. Bright colors come back to consciousness. Yellow, white, red. Alice and I are walking through the store. I step into sicky red liquid and heard some noise behind the shelves. A woman's scream makes me turn around. A heavy, wildly growling creature pounces on me from behind in the same time. My feet slip on the white floor, and I fall into the red liquid. The creature digs its claws into my chest. I struggle. We roll on the floor, soaked in blood. One more effort, and I throw this creature off me. Sharp teeth sink into my neck. The last thing I see is fear in Alice's eyes. The room fills with her screams of horror. Darkness fills my eyes. My body can no longer fight. I wake up from intense heat coursing through my body. My veins pump boiling blood to my heart, and I struggle to breathe. I'm alone in the room. I take a few deep breaths to calm down. How annoying these straps on my hands are. I'm ready to gnaw my own hand to break free. People in suits scurry beyond the glass walls of the room. The irritating, rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor accelerates. Waves of heat rush over me. A wild itch under my skin drives me crazy. My hearing becomes more acute, and I'm getting used to the sounds around me. I hear voices of people beyond the walls. They're talking about a breakthrough in their research. They've already found and purified the antigen. Only the compatibility test with the immune system remains. They're experimenting with some substances on me. Am I their lab mouse? Perhaps this heat and itching under my skin are effects of their compounds. Drip bag is running low. They replace it. Liquid flows through the transparent tubes into my veins, and I feel it cooling down my fever. The itching under my skin subsides. The beeping of the heart monitor slows down, and I start to calm down. I try to speak to the person in the protective suite, but I feel a gag in my mouth. I make unintelligible sounds, resembling growling, bewildered by being bound like a dangerous beast. I try to soberly assess the situation around me. There's a door ahead of me. It opens with the badge on the lab worker's chest. I feel their presence constantly, even when they're not in the room. Their bodies have a distinct odor that's imprinted in my mind during all this time in this room. I can tell within a minute when another lab technician will come in to administer an injection or change the drip solution. I have to get out of here. I must get back to Alice. Thoughts of her swirl in my mind, more and more. Yet I have no idea what happened to her. Night falls. At least, the lights are turned off with a similar periodicity. The fever intensifies. My pulse quickens, and I increasingly sense the smell of people behind the glass wall. One of them rises from the chair, presumably awakened by the alarming sounds of the instruments connected to me. In my memory, a pool of blood on the floor of the supermarket. Red. The lab worker approaches me with another dose of sedative. The smell of his flesh intensifies. I'm consumed by rage. My eyes fill with blood, and saliva drips from under the gag. My body gets a signal to act. Emitting a bestial roar, I tear the strap that holds my hand, remove the gag, and grabbing the lab worker by the throat, I sink my teeth into his neck through his suite, pushing away the syringe with the tranquilizer. He falls to the ground, unfastening my limbs from the strap restraints and snatching the tubes from my hands. I throw myself onto the lifeless body of the lab worker and begin savagely tearing at him with my claws and teeth. Red. The blood is so sweet. I choke on it, swallowing chunks of flesh without chewing. Everything starts to blur before my eyes. I can barely see anything except the light of the overhead lamps, but I hear every rustle beyond the wall. Clearly, they're in a frenzy, sounding the alarm. Food, more food. People scurry around, not knowing where to hide. I tear the blood-soaked badge off the remains of the lab worker's body and slowly walk towards the door. My body fills with strength. My muscles are charged with primal animal rage. I feel nothing but thirst and hunger. As I exit the room, the bright light blinds me. It turns on just in front of me, illuminating a long corridor with numerous doors on either side. Many of these doors are wide open, and there are bloody traces on the floor leading down the corridor. The walls are chaotically smeared with red stains. chaos and noise fill the air. The sound of slamming doors, heavy breathing, growling, emanating from throats filled with blood. Through the fire alarm, I hear the sound of human cries, the splattering of blood, the patter of fleeing feet. They come from everywhere, above, below, from the sides. I move along the corridor toward the exit, my hand pressed against the sticky wall, my rage dissipating and my vision clearing. The fire suppression system activates. All the rooms are slowly filling with cool water. I pass by the security room. It's empty too. Panicking lab technicians are trying to break through the sealed door on the monitors. It's amusing that people from the other side have barricaded it with furniture. Other monitors show empty corridors, and outside there are police cars with flashing lights. Chaos and panic are all around. My strength starts to leave me. I must get away from this chaos as far as possible. Making my way to the end of the corridor, I reach a staircase landing and begin to move upwards, away from the disturbing sounds. As I ascend the stairs, the loud noises subside, and finally, reaching the rooftop, I collapse almost powerless onto the ground. White. Bright white sunlight blinds my eyes. I concentrate my vision on what's happening around me. Several helicopters circle in the sky. Some of them are military, and they begin targeted firing at residential areas. What the hell is going on? Down below, I hear the sounds of explosions, people's screams, and the screeching of car engines. I examine my body. My hands are caked in dried blood. What have I done? I can't remember. The conversations of laboratory assistants about the vaccine pop up in my memories. The image of a mercilessly torn apart lab worker's body fills my mind. Dear God, I was just as terrible a creature as the one that attacked me in the supermarket. A shiver of horror runs through my skin for what I've done. They administered another substance the day before. It seems the medication started to take effect. In a state of bitter regret, fear, and powerlessness, I crawl to the edge of the rooftop and look down at the street. Cars are stuck in a gridlock. Explosions and fires engulf the city streets. The world is overrun by vicious, wild creatures that were once human. I need to barricade the rooftop door. There's a chance there will be helicopter evacuations. I must hold on no matter what.